The Silent Deception. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of Titan Research Station, watching the methane clouds swirl in the moon's dense atmosphere. Behind the reinforced windows, robotic construction units moved with deliberate slowness, assembling the latest antimatter containment facility. To any alien observers, it was just another example of humanity's methodical, almost tedious approach to expansion. They couldn't have been more wrong. Director Chen, the Galactic Council representatives have arrived, her AI assistant announced. Sarah straightened her uniform, checking her reflection in the window. At 58, her black hair was streaked with silver, face lined with the weight of keeping humanity's greatest secret for the past 15 years. The delegation waited in the main conference room, 3 Arctians with their characteristic crystalline exoskeletons, 2 serpentine Vrel, and a towering Mendaxian, all members of the Council's Technology Assessment Committee. "Welcome to Titan Station," Sarah said, entering with practiced calm. "I trust your journey was comfortable." High Commissioner Zixtal, the lead Arxian, inclined his crystalline head. "Indeed, Dr. Chen. Though we remain concerned about the pace of human expansion, your latest reports show only 3 new stations constructed in the past standard year." Sarah activated the holoscreen, displaying construction statistics that had been carefully crafted to show exactly what the Council expected to see. "As you know, we believe in thoroughness over speed. Each facility undergoes extensive testing." Yes, interrupted Sub-Commissioner Vrelf, her scales shifting with barely concealed impatience. "The famous human dedication to safety protocols. But surely with your level of automation, you could build faster." "We prefer not to rush," Sarah replied smoothly, the same answer humans had given for decades. In her pocket, her quantum-encrypted communicator vibrated. A message from Fleet Command. She resisted the urge to check it. The tour continued, Sarah showing the delegates exactly what they expected to see. Slow-moving construction robots, methodical assembly processes, and careful safety checks. What they couldn't see were the quantum probability matrices humming beneath the station's outer shell, or the vast manufacturing complexes hidden in dimensional pocket space. Finally, in her private office after the delegation departed, Sarah checked the message. Her hands trembled slightly as she read it. "NEXARI FLEET movements, Kiwa and Faviramide. Estimate 47 days. Until they reach human space. Operation Ciceronoas is Neno active." Sarah closed her eyes, remembering the day 15 years ago when she'd made the breakthrough. She'd been working with quantum entanglement, trying to develop faster computer processors, when she discovered something extraordinary, a way to manipulate probability fields on a massive scale. The implications were staggering. By collapsing quantum uncertainties in precise patterns, they could essentially pull fully formed structures into existence, assembled at the atomic level in minutes rather than months. The government had immediately classified the discovery. While other species watched humans build their stations and ships at a plodding pace, vast hidden facilities were constructed throughout human space. Quantum manufactories disguised as storage depots, research stations, and mining facilities. For 15 years, they had maintained the deception, building slowly in public while perfecting the technology in secret. Sarah walked to her real office, hidden behind 3 layers of security. The quantum core hummed softly as displays showed the status of similar facilities across human space, hundreds of them, all waiting for activation. A message flashed on her primary screen. "Qtronos Brayeving. 600 tomorrow." Her communicator chimed again. This time, it was Admiral Hayes, her old friend and head of fleet operations. "Hello, James," she said softly. "They bought it?" he asked without preamble. "Hook, line, and sinker. The Council still thinks we're the slow, plodding builders of the galaxy. The Nexari intelligence reports must show the same." "Good, because in 47 days, they're going to learn just how wrong they are." Hayes paused. The President has authorized full activation, Sarah. All facilities, all resources. We estimate we can build a fleet of over 10,000 ships in the first week alone. Sarah felt a weight lift from her shoulders, the weight of 15 years of secrecy. The Nexeri think they're attacking a civilization that takes months to build a single capital ship. They have no idea what they're walking into. No, they don't, Hayes agreed. The slow builders of humanity are about to show the galaxy what we can really do. Get some rest, Sarah. Tomorrow, we change everything. After ending the call, Sarah returned to the observation deck. The construction robots continued their slow dance outside, maintaining the illusion for any watching eyes. Soon, that illusion would shatter. She thought of the Nexeri fleet, advancing confidently toward human space, believing they faced an easy conquest. They had no idea that humanity's apparent weakness was its greatest deception. No idea that beneath the surface of moons, inside hollow asteroids, and hidden in dimensional pockets throughout human space, vast quantum manufactories waited to awaken. No idea that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in what they had built, but in what they were about to build. Sarah smiled as she watched the methane clouds swirl. Let them come. In 47 days, the galaxy would learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't the ships they had built over centuries. It was the ships they could build in a day. First strike. The Nexeri battle cruiser, Inevitable Victory, dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Terra Nova system. High Commander Kextol stood on his command deck. 4 arms crossed over his chitness chest as he watched the holographic display of the human colony world. Scans confirm minimal defensive infrastructure, his tactical officer reported. 1 orbital station, 3 planetary defense platforms. Estimated construction time for humans to build reinforcements, 4 months minimum. Kextol's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. The invasion fleet behind his flagship numbered over 2,000 ships. Intelligence suggested the entire human federation had fewer than 500 capital ships spread across their territory. Their slow construction capabilities made them perfect targets. Send the ultimatum, he ordered. Standard terms. They have 1 planetary rotation to surrender or face extinction. On the surface of Terra Nova, Colonial Governor Maya Rodriguez read the Nexeri demands with outward calm. Inside the command bunker, surrounded by her staff, she allowed herself a small smile. Ma'am, her aide asked nervously. The Nexeri fleet. It's massive. Yes, it is, Maya agreed. She opened a secure quantum channel to Fleet Command. Terra Nova reporting. Nexeri fleet has arrived as predicted, requesting authorization to proceed with Protocol Lazarus. Admiral Hayes' hologram appeared. Authorization granted, Governor. Showtime. Maya turned to her staff. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to witness has been classified above top secret for 15 years. Please remember your oaths. She pressed her palm to a hidden scanner, and the bunker's walls transformed. What had appeared to be solid metal became transparent, revealing vast underground chambers extending for kilometers. Quantum cores pulsed with blue-white energy as automated systems awakened. Similar facilities were activating across the planet, hidden beneath mountains, under oceans, and in pocket dimensions. By all means, Maya transmitted to the Nexeri flagship, "Come and try to take our world." In high orbit, Kextol received the human response with incredulity. "They're refusing our generous terms. Scan the surface again. Show me their defensive capabilities." "Sir," his sensor officer's voice cracked with confusion. Energy signatures appearing everywhere. Underground complexes activating. Quantum fluctuations off the scale. "Impossible," Kextol snarled. "Their construction facilities are primitive. We've monitored them for years." Deep beneath Terra Nova's surface, the quantum manufactories hummed to full power. Raw materials flowed through probability matrices, complex algorithms calculating and collapsing quantum states. Matter reorganized at the atomic level as entire ships materialized in vast underground bays. In orbit, The Nexeri fleet watched in disbelief as massive doors opened in the planet's crust. Ships rose from hidden bases, not the handful of defenders they'd expected, but hundreds, then thousands. Multiple vessels launching. Kextel's tactical officer reported, mandibles trembling. Designs unknown. Energy readings exceeding our strongest dreadnoughts. Numbers still increasing. Board the newly materialized TSS Revelation, Fleet Captain Yuki Chen watched her tactical display light up with friendly signatures. Her ship had existed as nothing but raw materials an hour ago. Now it was fully formed, crewed, and ready for combat. All ships reporting ready, her XO announced. Quantum cores stable, weapons charge. The Nexeri fleet appears to be in disarray. Open a channel to their flagship, Yuki ordered. The face that appeared on her screen was almost comical in its shock. The Nexeri commander's 4 eyes wide, mandibles slack. "This is Fleet Captain Chen of the Terra Nova Defense Force," she said calmly. "I see you brought 2,000 ships to our little colony. I'm afraid we'll have to disappoint you. We just built 3,000 to greet you, and we're not done yet." The quantum manufactories continued their work. Every 10 minutes, another wave of ships rose from the surface. Advanced destroyers, cruisers, and battleships that had taken shape in moments rather than months, each equipped with technology that had been refined in secret for over a decade. "Impossible." Kextal's voice shook. "We've watched your construction capabilities for years. This is some kind of trick." "No trick, Commander," Yuki replied. "Just the galaxy's greatest deception finally revealed. You thought humanity was weak because we built slowly. The truth is, we chose to build slowly. Until now." In the Terra Nova command bunker, Maya watched the tactical display with satisfaction. Similar scenes were playing out across human space as hidden facilities activated. The Nexeri had expected to find isolated colonies defended by handfuls of ships. Instead, they faced an awakening giant. "Status report," she transmitted to the fleet. 5,000 ships now in orbit," Yuki responded. "The Nexeri fleet is in retreat. They've lost all tactical cohesion." "Orders." Maya glanced at Admiral Hayes' hologram. He nodded. "Pursuit authorized," she said. "Show them exactly what humanity can do when we stop pretending to be slow." The Terra Nova defense fleet surged forward, quantum drives flaring. The Nexeri ships, their careful battle formations shattered by shock, began to break ranks. What had been planned as a glorious conquest had become a desperate retreat. In his flagship's command center, Kextel watched his tactical display with horror as human vessels seemed to appear from nowhere, quantum signatures flaring across the system. His intelligence officers had assured him that humanity's industrial capacity was limited, their construction methods primitive. Instead, they had walked into a trap generations in the making. The slow, plodding builders of the galaxy had shown their true face, and it was terrifying. "All ships, emergency retreat," he ordered. "Get us out of this system." But as his fleet turned to flee, more quantum signatures appeared at the system's edge. Another human battle group had emerged from hidden facilities in the outer system, cutting off their escape route. The greatest invasion fleet in Nexeri history was about to learn why you should never judge a species by its public face. Humanity had spent 15 years preparing for this moment, building in secret, waiting for the right time to reveal their true capabilities. That time had come. Operation Starforge. The Ganymede Command Center buzzed with activity as Dr. Sarah Chen and Admiral Hayes watched the galactic map fill with new contact signatures. Quantum facilities across human space were awakening, each adding their production capacity to humanity's suddenly revealed war machine. "Mars facilities online," an operator announced. "Europa complex reporting full activation. Titan station. Quantum cores at maximum output." Sarah watched the statistics scroll across her display. In the 6 hours since the Nexeri attack on Terra Nova, humanity had constructed more ships than they had publicly built in the last 5 years, and they were just getting started. Status of Operation Starforge. Admiral Hayes asked, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays. Phase 1 proceeding ahead of schedule, Sarah replied. The Nexari attack triggered exactly the response we hoped for. They hit hard enough to justify our reveal, but not hard enough to truly threaten any major colonies. Perfect pretext for activation. The massive screen showed the Nexari fleet retreating from Terra Nova, harried by the newly materialized human defense force. But that was just one battle in a much larger war. The real story was unfolding across human space. Inside the rings of Saturn, automated refineries that had appeared dormant for decades surged to life, their true purpose finally revealed. Beneath the ice of Europa, vast chambers opened as quantum manufactories began converting stored materials into warships. On Mars, what appeared to be simple mining operations transformed into massive production facilities. Message from President Reyes, an aide announced. The Galactic Council is demanding explanations. Our quantum signatures are lighting up every sensor in known space. Let them wonder, Hayes said grimly. They're about to learn why we maintained this deception for so long. In high orbit around Earth, the Sol defense platform's outer hull began to transform. What had appeared to be a simple station revealed its true nature as quantum probability fields warped space around it. In moments, it had become the command center for humanity's largest fleet anchorage, a facility that had existed in dimensional pocket space for years, waiting for this moment. Nexari High Command is mobilizing their main fleet, Strategic Operations reported. Estimated strength, 15,000 capital ships. They're calling in everything they have. Sarah smiled. They still think quantity is what matters. Show me the Prometheus array. The display shifted to a distant solar system, officially marked as an uninhabited research outpost. Deep within an artificial asteroid field, humanity's most ambitious project was coming online. The Prometheus array, not one quantum manufacturing facility, but thousands, all linked together in a vast network. Prometheus activation in 3, 2, 1. Energy signatures flared across the system as the array awakened. Raw materials stored for years began flowing through probability matrices. Ship after ship took shape, not the smaller vessels being produced elsewhere, but massive dreadnoughts and carriers that dwarfed anything humanity had publicly built before. First wave complete, the operator announced. 100 dreadnoughts, 200 carriers, support vessels still in production. Second wave initiating. In the Galactic Council chambers, representatives from 24 species watched in growing alarm as human space lit up with quantum signatures. The carefully maintained image of humanity as slow, methodical builders was shattering before their eyes. How long? The Arxian High Commissioner demanded. How long have they hidden this capability? 15 years, Sarah's recorded message played across the Council's screens. 15 years of preparation, of hiding our true capabilities, of letting you all think we were the slow, plodding builders of the galaxy. We did not do this out of deception, but necessity. Today, the Nexari forced our hand. Now you will all see what humanity can really do. Back in Ganymede Command, Hayes watched the strategic display update. Nexari main fleet is 6 hours from their staging point. Their commanders still think they can overwhelm us with numbers. Then let's give them something new to think about, Sarah said. She entered a command sequence, authorizing the final phase of Operation Starforge. Activating the Jupiter gravitic array. Around Jupiter's massive bulk, hidden stations began to power up. Quantum fields intersected with the gas giant's powerful gravity, creating manufacturing conditions that defied conventional physics. Ships didn't just materialize. They were forged from the very essence of space-time. All facilities reporting ready. Strategic Operations announced. Total production capacity now exceeding 50 ships per minute. At current rates, we'll match the entire Nexari fleet's numbers in under 6 hours. And unlike them, Hayes added with a grim smile, every ship we build incorporates 15 years of hidden technological advances. They're about to learn that quantity isn't everything. Sarah watched as another wave of ships emerged from the Jupiter array. Each vessel represented the culmination of humanity's greatest deception. Technology developed in secret, refined over years, while the galaxy thought they were simply being cautious and slow. Message from Terra Nova. An operator called out. Governor Rodriguez reports the Nexari retreat has turned into a rout. Surviving enemy vessels are broadcasting surrender signals. Accept their surrender, Hayes ordered. But keep building. The real battle hasn't even started yet. A junior officer approached with a datapad. Sir, first reports from captured Nexari officers. They're calling it the Great Deception. The story is spreading through their fleet. Some of their outer system garrisons are standing down without a fight. Sarah thought of all the years of hiding, of maintaining the illusion of slow, methodical construction, while quantum technology was perfected in secret. Now that deception was bearing fruit in ways they hadn't even anticipated. The psychological impact of their reveal was as devastating as the military advantage. New contact. Strategic operations announced. Nexari main fleet has changed course. They're retreating. Long-range sensors show their staging areas being abandoned. Hayes turned to Sarah. Looks like they finally realized what they're really facing. Should we pursue? Sarah watched the tactical display, remembering all the years of preparation, all the careful planning that had led to this moment. No, she said finally. Let them run. Let them tell others what they saw here. The galaxy needs to understand that humanity's greatest strength isn't in our weapons or our ships. It's in our patience, Hayes finished. In our ability to plan, to prepare, to wait for the perfect moment. Exactly, Sarah nodded. We spent 15 years building in secret, letting everyone think we were slow and methodical. Now they know the truth. We weren't slow because we had to be. We were slow because we chose to be. And that choice has given us the greatest victory of all. Around them, Operation Starforge continued as humanity's hidden might was finally unveiled to the stars. The Nexari Revelation. Supreme Commander Vextrol of the Nexari Dominion stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Council, his chitinous armor dulled with defeat. The Grand Chamber, with its soaring crystal spires and floating platforms, held representatives from every major species in known space. All had gathered to witness this unprecedented moment. The Nexari Dominion. Vextrol's voice carried through the chamber, formally withdraws all claims to human territory and requests immediate peace negotiations. A murmur rippled through the assembled delegates. The Nexari, legendary for their military might, had never before sued for peace. But the events of the past week had shaken the foundations of galactic society. High Commissioner Zixtal of the Arctians rose from his crystalline throne. Before we proceed, the Council demands clarity. Our sensors detected over 20,000 new human warships constructed in less than 7 standard days. Explain how you failed to discover this capability in your strategic assessment. Vextrol's mandibles clicked in frustration. We monitored human construction capabilities for decades. Every intelligence report confirmed their methodical, slow building process. We had no way of knowing that it was all a deception. The new voice came from Dr. Sarah Chen, entering the chamber as humanity's representative. She wore a simple blue uniform, but her presence commanded attention. Perhaps you should have asked yourselves why a species capable of faster-than-light travel and antimatter manipulation would accept such slow construction methods without seeking alternatives. The chamber's holographic displays activated, showing footage from the battle at Terra Nova. Nexari warships fled in disarray as human vessels materialized from hidden facilities. The quantum manufacturing signatures were clearly visible, a technology that rewrote the rules of industrial capability. Humanity's quantum probability manipulation revolutionized manufacturing 15 years ago, Sarah explained. We could have immediately used it to expand rapidly across the galaxy. Instead, we chose restraint. We maintained the illusion of slow construction while perfecting the technology in secret. Why? demanded the Vrel ambassador, his serpentine form coiling in agitation. Why maintain such an elaborate deception? Because we understood power dynamics, Admiral Hayes answered, joining Sarah on the platform. Rapid military expansion triggers arms races. Fear leads to conflict. By appearing slower and less capable, we gave ourselves time to develop not just the technology, but the wisdom to use it properly. In the depths of space, the evidence of humanity's true capabilities continued to unfold. The Prometheus array, now operating at full capacity, produced ships that redefine naval architecture. Quantum cores powered weapons that bent probability itself. But more impressive than the technology was the strategic depth behind it. Our deception served multiple purposes, Sarah continued. Yes, it protected us from those who might fear our capabilities. But it also let us observe how different species would react to a seemingly weaker civilization. The Nexeri revealed their true nature by choosing aggression over diplomacy. Vextrol's mandibles clattered in protest. You tested us? We tested everyone, Hayes corrected. Some species sought trade and cooperation despite our apparent technological limitations. Others, like the Nexeri, saw us as easy prey. Those choices have consequences. The chamber's displays shifted to show the current state of human space. Quantum manufacturing facilities operated openly now, but with carefully controlled output. New designs emerged that emphasized civilian applications, medical ships that could be rapidly produced during emergencies, disaster relief vessels that could be manufactured near crisis zones. Humanity offers the following terms, Sarah announced. We will share our quantum manufacturing technology with those species that demonstrated peaceful intentions. For those that showed aggression, she looked pointedly at Vextrol. The technology remains restricted, but we will establish new diplomatic and trade protocols. You would share such power. The Mendaxian delegate's crystalline form shimmered with surprise. Under strict controls and oversight, Hayes confirmed. We spent 15 years learning how to manage this capability responsibly. We'll ensure others do the same. The implications rippled through the chamber. Humanity had not just revealed superior technology. They had demonstrated superior strategy. Their apparent weakness had been a carefully constructed test of character. In the following hours, as the Council debated the new galactic reality, Sarah received a priority message from Terra Nova. Governor Rodriguez's hologram appeared in a private chamber. The Nexeri refugees are settling in, Maya reported. Their scientists are particularly interested in collaborating on civilian applications of quantum technology. It seems seeing our medical ships in action changed some minds. Fear and awe can trigger change, Sarah noted, but genuine respect has to be earned. How are the new construction projects proceeding? The first wave of hospital ships will be complete within the hour. Relief vessels for the drought on Centauri Prime shortly after. We're showing the galaxy that rapid manufacturing isn't just about military power. Admiral Hayes joined them, his expression thoughtful. The Arctians are already proposing joint research projects. The Vrel want to establish cultural exchange programs. Even some Nexeri colonies are requesting independence to align with human space. And the greatest weapon we built? Sarah asked with a slight smile. It wasn't the ships or the quantum cores. No, Hayes agreed. It was patience. 15 years of appearing slow and methodical while preparing for this moment. The galaxy thought they were watching humanity's limits. Instead, they were witnessing our greatest strength, the ability to think in decades rather than days. Outside the council chamber, the news spread across the galaxy. Humanity's great deception became a cautionary tale about judging species by their apparent limitations. But it also became a story of hope, of technology used for creation rather than just destruction, of power tempered by wisdom. The slow builders of humanity had revealed their true nature, and the galaxy would never be the same. Dawn of a new era. 5 years after the Great Deception was revealed, Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, watching ships from a dozen species move through the quantum construction docks. The massive facility, jointly operated by humans and their new allies, represented everything they had hoped to achieve. Below, a Vrel medical cruiser took shape within a quantum probability field, its construction guided by both human and Vrel engineers. Nearby, an Arxian science vessel emerged from its manufacturing cradle, its crystalline hull incorporating both species' technologies. Even a small group of Nexari engineers worked at a design station, their once militant society slowly transforming through cultural exchange and technological cooperation. Quite a change from when we had to hide everything, Admiral Hayes said, joining her at the window. Now retired from active service, he served as humanity's representative to the Galactic Construction Council. Sometimes I miss those days, Sarah admitted. The secrecy was stressful, but there was something satisfying about maintaining such a massive deception. Speaking of massive, Hayes gestured to the incoming ship on the long-range sensors. The first collaborative class carrier is arriving for its final inspection. The vessel that emerged from hyperspace dwarfed everything around it. 5 kilometers long, it represented the combined engineering knowledge of 7 species, built using human quantum manufacturing techniques. But unlike the warships of the past, this vessel was designed for exploration and emergency response. Director Chen, a young Nexari engineer, approached, her mandibles arranged in what Sarah had learned was their equivalent of an eager smile. The new probability matrix calculations you requested are ready for review. Thank you, Texley. Sarah smiled. The young engineer was part of the new generation of Nexari, more interested in building than conquering. How is your cultural exchange program going? Fascinating. Human concepts of entertainment and recreation have completely transformed our understanding of work-life balance. And the food. I never knew eating could be pleasurable rather than just functional. A soft chime interrupted them. The station's AI announced, "Attention all personnel. The Centaurid Prime Relief Mission has achieved full success. Drought conditions have been fully mitigated. Total casualties, 0. Quantum manufactured atmospheric processors functioning at 128% of projected efficiency." Sarah watched the statistics scroll across her display. In the past, such a planetary-scale disaster would have led to massive casualties, while relief ships were slowly constructed and deployed. Now, emergency response vessels could be manufactured near any crisis point within hours. "Message from the Galactic Council," Hayes said, checking his communicator. "They've approved the expansion of the Quantum Technology Sharing Initiative. 3 more species have qualified for full access." The initiative had been Sarah's idea, a way to ensure that quantum manufacturing technology spread safely through the galaxy. Species had to demonstrate both technological readiness and ethical stability before gaining access. The process was transforming galactic society, encouraging cooperation and peaceful development. "Have you seen the latest cultural impact reports?" Sarah asked, pulling up data on her tablet. "Apparently, there's a popular entertainment series about our years of deception. The Arxians find it particularly amusing. They've turned their own failure to detect our capabilities into a kind of self-deprecating comedy genre." "Times change," Hayes mused. 5 years ago, the Nexari were preparing to conquer us. Now they're some of our most enthusiastic students. The Arxians went from suspicious observers to trusted partners. Even the Vrel have opened their normally isolated society. Through the window, they watched as another ship completed its construction sequence. This one was special. The first vessel entirely designed and built by a joint team of human and Nexari engineers. Its quantum core incorporated innovations from both species, proving that former enemies could create something greater together. "We achieved something remarkable," Sarah said softly. "Not just the technology, but the way we revealed it. By appearing weak, we learned who would try to exploit us and who would treat us with respect despite our apparent limitations. And in doing so, we changed the galaxy's fundamental nature," Hayes added. "From competition to cooperation, from military might to collaborative achievement." A group of students passed by. young representatives from various species participating in the quantum engineering exchange program. They were the future of the galaxy, learning not just the technology, but the responsibility that came with it. Emergency request from the Mendaxian sector. The station AI announced. Stellar instability detected. Evacuation ships needed. Sarah watched as the station's production facilities smoothly shifted priorities. Within minutes, the first specialized evacuation vessels began taking shape in the quantum fields. 5 years ago, such a response would have been impossible. Now it was routine. Final report from the Prometheus array, Hayes said. They've completed the transition from military production to scientific and humanitarian vessels. The last warship bay has been converted to produce deep space exploration craft. Sarah nodded with satisfaction. The massive facility that had once been humanity's secret weapon was now the galaxy's greatest tool for advancement and discovery. It seemed fitting. "You know what the best part is?" she asked, watching the ships move through the construction docks. "We never had to fire a shot. Our greatest victory came not from the ships we built, but from the way we revealed them. We showed the galaxy that true strength lies not in weapons, but in wisdom and patience," Hayes added with a smile. 15 years of playing the slow, methodical builders. It was the longest military operation in human history, and it succeeded because we never had to fight. Outside, the stars shone on a galaxy transformed. The slow builders of humanity had revealed their true nature, but their greatest achievement wasn't the technology they had hidden. It was the future they had helped create, a future built not on deception and force, but on cooperation and shared progress. The age of quantum manufacturing had begun, and with it, a new era of galactic civilization had dawned.